Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
OpenAI is launching a version of its ChatGPT designed just for teenagers.
The San Francisco-based company says ChatGPT for teens is tailored for youngsters 13 to 17 with stronger protections, including content restrictions around things like suicide, self-harm, and romantic or sexual chats. It also provides homework and study support designed to help students learn rather than spit out answers in school essays. The company says the idea is to guide teens toward healthy AI use in an age-appropriate environment. Rich Thomason reporting.
The U.S. and Canada are negotiating in an effort to reach a truce on tariffs before a 12:01 a.m. Wednesday deadline set by President Trump. If no deal is reached, the president has threatened to impose 50% tariffs on about $20 billion worth of Canadian products. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Clear this evening, the low dipping down to 76. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine to go at 97 as our high. A 20% chance for some showers in the afternoon. Rain chances do double to 40% on Thursday and 60% for Friday. We'll stay in the mid to upper 90s until the weekend. Then we cool down a little bit, highs in the low 90s. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Sports Talk. Sports Talk Media Network here on a Talking Tuesday night as we continue on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour, making the short little drive over to Allen University here in downtown Columbia, where the Yellow Jackets made some noise. They made some noise last season, finishing on a winning streak, had a winning record overall, showed a lot of progress under Coach Cedric Pearl last season, and we are here in the gymnasium where they've won a lot of games in basketball here at Allen over the years. We're in the gym tonight. Coach Pearl will not be able to be with us, but we will have offensive line coach Montez McCray with us. He's also the recruiting coordinator. Michael Bowman, you might recognize that name out of Orangeburg Wilkinson High School. He's a tight end here with the Yellow Jackets. And Jadarius Cherry, a defensive end from Live Oak, Florida. They'll all be with us coming up after the bottom of the hour break as we continue on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour tonight. Of course, it's a busy, busy day. We had Shane Beamer talking today in Columbia, updating things from a Gamecock standpoint. No major news. He just confirmed the injuries to the two wide receivers. He did point out that in the scrimmage on Saturday, they were very good with their penalties, much better than they were last season, cutting down on that. He was very pleased with that, had some big plays in the scrimmage. We'll bring you some of that. A little bit more from Dabo Sweeney as well from his last meeting with the media, a little segment we didn't get to last night. It's pretty good. And Lenore Sellers talked today at South Carolina, and Christopher Vizina is talking this afternoon up at Clemson. Might try and get you some Vizina as well here tonight. Plus Josh Harris from Darlington. A lot of things happening there in Darlington, just a couple of weekends away from the Cookout Southern 500. So we'll be talking with him about things happening around there. So it's a busy, busy program. Our phone number, 888-898-2525. That is the South Carolina Education Lottery. Lucky number to reach us here on Sports Talk. Don't forget, you can learn more about the lottery's impact at sceducationlottery.com/educationwins, and playing for fun is a win for education. The text line number, our text line number, brought to you by Larry Lucas State Farm Insurance, not far from us here in Columbia, 803-799-1998. For the Columbia office, 803-359-0770. You probably have insurance, but remember, switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. And, again, the poll question brought to you by Larry Lucas State Farm Insurance. And the text line number as well, 803. For the text line number, 803-900-4847. 803-900-4847 for that. Let's welcome in Chris Bergen from the Berge Palace, not too far from Darlington. If you're not careful, Berge, from what we understand politically, you could soon be part of the city of Darlington.
I think the city of Florence may have a battle with that because we are technically inside the city limits of Florence. But, yeah, tonight the Darlington City Council is having a meeting about annexation, and I printed out their agenda just because I wanted to read it, because you want to talk about legalese. Here's the public hearing on ordinance number 2026-05. An ordinance of the City of Darlington, South Carolina, to amend Chapter 86, Article 2, Section 21, and Chapter 86, Article 3, Section 295 of the City of Darlington Code of Ordinance to require the annexation of properties contiguous with the City of Darlington if the city has contracted to provide water and or sewer services outside its municipal boundaries and other matters related thereto. Now, my understanding is Darlington Raceway does not sit inside the city limits, but does get city services for its 2 race weekends. So fascinating. I have no idea what that means. Let's assume for a moment they get annexed in. Clearly that will help the city of Darlington, I think, revenue-wise. But, I mean, what does that mean for the racetrack? Do tickets have to go up? Do concessions have to go up, the whole 9 yards, to cover the added expense? I don't know. And hopefully Josh Harris, maybe when he joins us a little later, can fill in some of those details if he's not en route to the to the meeting here tonight.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him that he will not be able to be with us, so hopefully he'll be with us tonight. All right, let's catch up on some things of interest. South Carolina defensive end Dylan Stewart named first team AP preseason All-American today, and Clemson linebacker Sammy Brown named second team. Of course, so much riding on the backs of both of these guys, and of course the hope is that Stewart's back will be fine and the Gamecocks can ride on him defensively, because let's face it, he is a disruptor as a defensive end. And of course Sammy Brown is so important to the Clemson defense with his speed, his ability to run down plays, cover ground. Need to keep him on the field, and and he's healthy. As far as we know, he's healthy, so that's a good thing. So those are the two folks from there named to the AP preseason All-American team. Pete Themmel reporting that Billy Edwards will be the starting quarterback for North Carolina when they open up against TCU in Ireland. He won a close battle with Miles O'Neill, the Texas A&M transfer. So both of these guys are transfers. So Billy Edwards is going to be the starting quarterback for North Carolina. They need somebody, Berge, because no matter who they plugged in last season at quarterback, it did not work.
No, this is true. I'm just asking, I wonder who Billy Edwards is.
Billy Edwards, like you said, is a transfer, as I said. Oh, you can look him up. Do a quick Google. I mean, the name sounds familiar. See what his background is.
That'll tell you everything Tar Heel fans need to know.
Let's see. Billy Edwards. He came from
Wisconsin.
Well, let's see.
It appears.
Take your choice. Wake Forest, Maryland, and Wisconsin. Nobody comes from just a single school anymore. Wake Forest, Maryland, Wisconsin before he got to North Carolina. He was the MVP of the Music City Bowl in 2023. He's got some reputation. He's not a slouch. He comes into this season with career numbers of 3,435 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 62% completion percentage, quarterback rating of 126.8. He also runs a little bit, 375 career rushing yards and 13 touchdowns. So he's accounted for 32 touchdowns in 28 career games. Started 11 games in 24 at Maryland. Only started 2 games last year at Wisconsin. He might have been hurt. I'm thinking he was
hurt. 2024 was his big year. He had 15 of those touchdowns that you referenced. He had just 4 otherwise.
Yeah, he
did throw 9 interceptions 2 years ago in 2024 as well.
He had a knee injury in the second game. He was going to be Wisconsin's starter. He had a knee injury in the second game, and he got hurt in the opener, missed 2 games, briefly returned, and then did not play in any other games the rest of the season because of a grade 3 PCL sprain is what is being reported here. So he just had knee problems last season. So a fresh start for him again at North Carolina. Maybe he'll be the answer. Hey, Bobby Petrino's the coach of the offense. And say what you will about Bobby Petrino, the person, and everything else that's gone on around him. He can produce offenses, and he can coach quarterbacks, no doubt about it.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, if that were all he did, if he just focused on football 24/7, well, first off, he wouldn't be an assistant in North Carolina. He'd be still a head coach somewhere. But aside from that, you're right. He's a terrific offensive mind. He just has other issues that have plagued him throughout his career.
A little bit from Shane Beamer from today. Again, nothing major. Again, he said Dylan Stewart, Jacarius Peak continue to be on track, and everything's positive, ahead of schedule in some ways. So that's good. Question is, do you play them? Do you play them early on? You continue to let them rest? You know, in looking at their schedule, I mean, it's so important for them. If they're going to have a really good year, and what's a really good year? 8 wins or more, I would say, is a really good year. 7 wins would be tolerable because that's improvement. I think anything less than 7 wins, based on all the hype and the garnet-colored smoke being blown around, I think anything less than 7 wins would be considered a disappointment. A 6-6 season and going to a really lousy bowl game, not going to get it done. I mean, it's not going to mean any changes, but I don't think that's going to make a lot of people happy, even though it's an improvement over last year. But anything's practically an improvement over last year.
But I think, Phil, if you go 6-6 and go to that lousy bowl, as you pointed out correctly, I think you're probably staring at a 6-7 campaign because none of your frontline guys are playing in a bowl like
That's
that.
true.
You know, they're not playing in the Birmingham Bowl. No offense to the fine folks in Birmingham. So you're looking at another losing season, and then you have to start wondering if there will be changes made in the football program.
That's a good point. You will not have you'll have a skeleton of your team. But so my point is, the way the schedule sets up for them, it's a very winnable first half. I mean, I could see them going 5-1 in the first half of the season. I mean, winning at Alabama will be difficult, of course, and winning at Florida will be difficult. But I think between the two, I'm more inclined to point towards a win at Florida in Gainesville than I am a win in Tuscaloosa at night against the Crimson Tide. The Florida game, I believe, is going to be an early day contest. So not that does that mean anything? I don't know. But I would like to say that I think chances of winning right now, based on what we know of the teams, better in Gainesville than Tuscaloosa. Everything else, the first half of the season, they should win. Should win the first 2. Should beat Kentucky at home. Should beat Mississippi State at home. Win those 4 and beat Florida. Then you're 5-1, turning for home. But you've got to win some games before you get to November because, I mean, does anybody have a tougher November slate? Maybe there are some teams. Does anybody have a tougher November slate than South Carolina when you consider they play Texas A&M, they go out to Arkansas, they play Georgia, and they play Clemson? They better have some money in the bank before they get to November.
Yeah. You can't be sitting there needing, like 2 wins to qualify for a bowl game. I don't. If you're to that point, if you're sitting with, say, 4 wins going into November, I don't see you turning the corner against that schedule. And Arkansas, of that grouping, is the only one that looks like a winnable game at that point. And you're talking about going into a tough place to play out at Arkansas. And who knows what Arkansas is going to look like come tail end of the season this year, too.
Yeah. And Beamer also said they had just 8 total penalties in their scrimmage Saturday, so they're very, very pleased by that. NASCAR announced that the Chicago Street Course race will not happen next year. And Furman's new starting quarterback this season will be Jake Garcia, who was with us last week. He spent this last year.
That must have tipped the scales. Corn, you should take full credit for that. Call Coach Hendricks and say you're welcome.
Yeah, he was at Michigan following a year at East Carolina where he passed for 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns in 2024. Arkansas has added safety Sean Williams out of the free agent market. He was an all-Ivy League selection. 11 career interceptions at Dartmouth, so he must be one of those taking advantage of the fifth-year deal, I guess. Let's see, what else here? Former North Augusta kicker who went to Iowa, Drew Stevens, has won the kicking job with the Washington Commanders. A guy that was not recruited, I don't think, by South Carolina or Clemson, goes out to Iowa, has a great career. Poll question of the week, brought to you by Larry Lucas, State Farm Insurance. Clemson coach Dabo Swinney emphasizing running the ball this season. Will the Tigers produce a 1,000-yard rusher? 75, almost 76% of the votes say no, they will not. Don't be shocked. 24% say yes, they will. I would lean towards the 24%. I think they're going to produce a 1,000-yard rusher because they're going to really push running the football, I have a feeling.
And again, you had Adam Randall last year, who I thought did a great job transitioning a running back who rushed for 800 yards in an offense that didn't focus on the ground attack. And considering Clemson's schedule after they get past LSU and, Miami sprinkled in there are a lot of winnable games in there for them, and they may have the lead and are going to lean heavily on that run game. I think 1,000-yard rushers in the bank for them.
Mm-hmm. One more thing, LSU has revealed a new revenue source for football. It's called Join the 20 $20 or more for each Tiger victory or touchdown scored this season. You support, as they put it, the holistic student-athlete experience through Team TAF, the annual giving fund that supports scholarships and revenue share for their athletes. This year's exclusive pledge per win gifts include $5 per win. If you put down $5 per win, you get a Win Bar lapel pin. If you put down $25 per win, you get a custom LSU football bar mat. Of course, it's got something to do with alcohol. And $100 per win, you get an LSU football helmet logo Yeti Hopper Flip 12-inch. Okay? I imagine that's some sort of beverage container. A Yeti Hopper Flip 12-inch?
Yes. And I would think so. If you've got a promotion with LSU, you can almost guarantee it has something to do with beverages.
Thinking of a way, always thinking of ways to make more money. Okay, after the break, we'll bring you the first part with Shane Beamer. Get rolling with the Gamecocks head football coach. Hear what he had to say today. Bring you a couple of segments there. A little bit more with Dabo Swinney. Of course, we'll have the folks here from Allen University coming up in just a little bit. We'll have some recruiting for you as well. Josh Harris coming to us in the second hour. It's a busy, busy Talking Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Earned history, chased glory, lived consequences. 500 miles against the Lady in Black. A NASCAR Crown Jewel Too Tough to Tame Labor Day Weekend Classic. The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
Major Billy Downer here from the Department of Natural Resources, and DNR is excited to announce the implementation of Go Outdoors SC, a new online licensing and boat titling system that you can access right from your phone. Through this new system, customers can purchase their hunting and fishing licenses, renew their boats, apply for lottery hunt opportunities, and complete electronic harvest reporting requirements. For more information, visit Go Outdoors SC at your local app store.
Looking for a new car? You need to think about a Kia. If you're in the market for an SUV, consider the new Kia Telluride or the new Kia Sorento. They're big, they're strong, and loaded with tech for thousands less than Honda or Toyota. You'll see the difference right away, and you get double the warranty. Plus, you get the JT's Advantage million-mile warranty and about 1,000 other things you have to see to believe.
If you want the biggest bang for your buck, it's time to think about a new JT's Kia.
We're serious about saving you money.
All right, Talking Tuesday here on Sports Talk. A lot of things to discuss tonight as Shane Beamer hit the press conference trail over at South Carolina to talk about the fall camp as things are progressing over with the Gamecocks. Bergie, why don't you lead us into this segment with Shane Beamer?
Yeah, we're going to kick it off. Obviously, the big story over the weekend were the two injuries to the wide receivers. So Coach Beamer talked about that, elaborated a little bit further, plus updated the rest of the teams health-wise, and then looked back at Saturday's first scrimmage for the Gamecocks.
Realize the news from our football team is the injuries to Jaden and Jaden last week. Really hurt for both those guys. Jaden Gibson put so much into getting healthy, getting back out on the field. He had a lot of work to do academically. That a lot of people would look at the work he had to get done academically and would have said, there's no way he's going to get this done. And not only did he get it done, he graduated from OU in the spring in the process. And then to see the trajectory he was on and then get hurt, it's just heartbreaking. And then with Jaden Sellers, same thing. Had such a solid summer and was having a good preseason. And you hate to see anybody get hurt, but we're here for them, and we'll continue to wrap our arms around those guys and the other guys on our team that are dealing with season-ending injuries that we've already talked about before, and help those guys through the rehab process. In addition to those guys, nothing major that's new to report. Normal bumps and bruises in preseason camp. Nothing that would keep anybody out of game one if we played today. And then Peak and Stewart, I know, are always the hot questions, and they continue to be on track. They each have benchmarks that they're accomplishing each week and checkups that they have with doctors and specialists, and both of them had those last week, and everything was positive and ahead of schedule in some ways. So they're both eager to get back out there and are closer and closer each and every day since I've seen you guys last. Obviously, we were in the stadium Saturday night. Had a really good scrimmage, in my opinion, being out there. As we talked to our players about, we don't get preseason games, so we've really got to take advantage of those opportunities to go play football in the stadium under the lights, and saw a lot of really good. Obviously, as the head coach, there's good and bad. One side of the ball is doing something, the other side of the ball means they're not, but saw a lot of positives on both sides. Fast start by the offense with both groups, Cutter, Woods, and Lenoris, the drives they led. A really good finish overall by the defense at the end of the night. Really pleased. I thought we played clean football, very few penalties, really only one turnover throughout the evening. Defense got their hands on some footballs that were thrown, but didn't quite come down with them. But one turnover, very few penalties, which was really good to see. I think in this scrimmage last year, I went back and looked, we had 21 penalties in this same scrimmage last year, and the other night we had 8. This scrimmage last year, we had 14 pre-snap penalties, and the other night we had, I think, 7. Now, 7's way too many pre-snap penalties, but to run close to 90 plays like we did and be that clean from a football standpoint, I was really pleased with. Got a lot of situational work in the scrimmage the other night, third down, red zone, short yardage, goal line, 2-minute, you name it. And then I told our team on Saturday before we went to the stadium that we would learn a lot about our team and learn a lot about individuals, guys that when the lights come on, they really elevate their game. And some guys, when the lights come on, just get out there and, lose their minds in some ways. But learned a lot about our team on Saturday night, thought we took another step. And then since then, I've really been pleased with, what we've done since then. You guys were out there on Sunday night. We thought we had a really productive night on Sunday, challenged them coming back off a scrimmage 24 hours later. Normally we don't wear shoulder pads on Sunday nights. We did this past Sunday, went right back to work, had to continue to grind and get better. thought we had a productive night on Sunday and then a really, really good day today. A little bit longer on the field than we had anticipated today, but we got a lot of situational work done, and that was really good to see. So 2 really productive days. Players have class here this afternoon. We're still in preseason camp mode. We're not out of preseason camp yet from a football standpoint, even though classes are starting, but we've got a big week this week, and then next week we'll lead into our mock game week, where a lot of new faces, a lot of new people, players and coaches that have not been through a game week here with us. But so we'll go through that next week so those guys can understand how a game week around here flows, and getting closer and closer to kickoff.
All right, Shane Beamer, part 1 with Shane Beamer from his press conference today. So continues to stay positive about his football team, looking forward to the upcoming season. A lot of positivity coming out of the Roost area, Bergie. I mean, the Gamecocks are, at the very least, they're winning the mental battle with people, because I think Gamecock fans are generally very excited about this team and think they're going to have a pretty good year.
Yeah, and I think that's probably part of the MO. Obviously, you want to get the team prepared to play, but I think also the messaging coming out of there, especially obviously the players that are returning, confidence had to be shot after a 4-win season last year. So what you want to do is pump them up. And Shane Beamer, Dabo Sweeney, they are as good at doing that about their football teams. Now, Dabo's taking a different approach. He's the we ain't a bunch of nobodies. So we'll see what happens. But I think Shane Beamer, and I think that's part of why you heard Phil, I really believe, coming out of the scrimmage, whether it was accurate or not, you knew you were probably going to get a positive message about the offense. Because what was the biggest gripe the Gamecock